I'm Jennifer Germaine, managing attorney at Germaine Law Firm. Today I'm discussing with you financials in your apprenticeship program. The 2 tips involves a budget and how to speak about your financials in a way that will be clear to everyone sitting around the table. Budgets. I highly recommend you adopt the practice of setting a budget on a yearly basis. It allows the board to come together with the coordinator to discuss the expenses that might be occurring that are different for the next year. What's the apprentice outlook? Do you need new instructors, new capital, new building you're saving up for? Once you have that discussion, you can adjust the numbers from the previous year to set your budget. Then, at your trustee meetings, either monthly or quarterly, compare the actual spending that occurred back to the budget. The coordinator should then come prepared to your trustee meetings to discuss if numbers were above or below, or there were significant variances, and why that happened. The third reason you should have a budget, it sets the parameters for your coordinator or director to be able to know how much they can spend within the year without having to go back to the Board of Trustees for approval. Second tip is, how are you discussing your financials? One recommendation I have here is, if people sitting around your table don't always look at financials, sometimes it's hard for them to actually understand there's this much for operations and this much for investments. How do I know when I have enough to start doing something different with the money? You could start talking about that month in reserves for that extra cash you have. So consider if you have $50,000 you need to operate your training program for the month, and you have $300,000 set aside for additional expenses and investments. You can then say, well, we've got 5 months of reserves past this month to be able to spend on something. Discuss with your board how much you feel comfortable setting aside for months in reserve. Is it 8 to 12 months of operations set aside, so if workflow did slow down, you have enough money for a period of time to run your apprenticeship program? You may even want more money than that. That's up to your Board of Trustees. But once you hit that target number of months in reserves that you set, you can start looking at what should we do with that extra money that we get above that. And maybe that's looking at a little bit more aggressive investments, but not too aggressive for apprenticeship programs. Or we can afford that new capital contribution we need, new building improvement, or new equipment in the apprenticeship program. If you start wording in ways of months in reserve, it might be clear for other people around the table that don't look at financials all the time. If you need help or additional tips on how to look at your financials to make it even clearer for your Board of Trustees, feel free to give me a call.